Did you know that the highest paid skill in software project management isn't delivering projects? I've seen project managers who are incredibly organized, technically skilled, and capable of delivering projects on time, every time. They had the full respect of their teams, adapted to any challenge, and worked tirelessly. Yet, their careers remained stagnant. On the other hand, I've seen others, less competent, sometimes even detrimental to their teams, who continued to advance, land bigger opportunities, and climb the corporate ladder with ease. So, what's the real difference between these two groups? Think about someone you know who's exceptional at their job but remains underappreciated. Now, think of someone whose skills don't quite measure up, yet they keep getting promoted. What sets them apart? It's not their technical skills. It's not their ability to organize a team. The answer is how they work with their stakeholders. And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly why this is the most valuable skill you can develop and how you can use it to advance your career faster than ever before. Let me tell you a story about one of my first big clients. Back in the day, I was managing a major product called New Age, and we had a particularly demanding stakeholder. Her name was Yvonne. Now, Yvonne had a reputation in my company. She was known for being extremely firm, detail-oriented, and, to put it bluntly, rough. She had high expectations and she didn't tolerate incompetence. In fact, 2 or 3 project managers before me had already tried working with her and they all ended up leaving. They switched projects because they just couldn't handle working with her. So, naturally, when I joined the team, I was warned about Yvonne. Be careful, they said. She's demanding, she expects perfection. And then, one day, something happened that could have easily turned into a complete disaster. One of our developers made a massive mistake. He accidentally dropped the user table from our database. If you're not technical, let me translate. He deleted everything. All our users, all their login credentials, every piece of user data, gone. And because of this, no one could access the system at all. This was the worst possible scenario with a high-profile, high-pressure stakeholder like Yvonne. Everyone on the team was frozen in fear, expecting a major backlash. People were already bracing for chaos. The assumption was Yvonne would explode. She'd demand immediate answers, compensation, maybe even people's jobs. But that's not what happened. Instead of panicking, I immediately gathered my developers and asked them 4 key questions. How can we fix this? What are the consequences? How long will recovery take? And what data will we lose? Within minutes, we had a plan. We could recover the database in 2 to 4 hours. However, 12 hours of user data would be lost due to our backup retention policy. But we had email records from a separate database, so we could manually contact affected users and help them restore their accounts. Once I had a clear action plan, only then did I reach out to Yvonne and send her a simple, calm, and structured update. Yvonne, we have an issue. Our system is currently down due to a human error. We are already working on recovery and the system will be restored in 2 to 4 hours. Unfortunately, we won't be able to recover last 12 hours of user data, but based on our analytics, that's approximately X users. However, we have a recovery plan in place. We will reach out to them directly and guide them through recreating their accounts. I'll keep you posted, but for now, the issue is under control. And then something shocking happened. Yvonne didn't explode. She didn't yell, she didn't demand penalties, she didn't panic. She simply replied, "Okay, Michael, thank you for keeping me posted, let me know when it's resolved." And that was it. Everyone on my team was stunned. They had expected a major fallout, angry demands, possibly even financial compensation requests. But none of that happened. Why? Because I understood what Yvonne needed. As a high-level stakeholder, she wasn't looking for someone to dump problems on her lap. She wanted someone to take ownership. She needed confidence that the project was under control. I didn't just tell her, we have a problem. I told her, we have a problem, but here's the plan. Here's how we are fixing it. Here's what to expect. And that made all the difference. So, how do you go from working with a stakeholder who is dreaded by your team, someone seen as demanding, impulsive, or overly critical, to having the same person fully support you, trust you, and appreciate your team's work? There are 3 key steps to making this transformation happen. Step 1. Understand your stakeholders' needs. You see, not all stakeholders want the same thing from you. Some, like Yvonne, want full confidence that you're in control. They don't want to be involved in the technical details or problem solving, they just want to define what needs to be built and expect you to handle the rest. But others are the complete opposite. Some stakeholders want to be deeply involved. They feel uneasy if they are not part of brainstorming sessions or team discussions. They gain trust by seeing how the team works and participating in problem solving. Neither approach is right or wrong. It simply depends on the stakeholder's personality, role, and preferences. The key is to figure out what they need from you early on. And the easiest way to do this? Ask them directly. What level of involvement do you prefer? How would you like us to collaborate? Do you want regular updates or only when issues arise? By understanding their expectations up front, you'll avoid friction and make your interactions much smoother. Step 2. Understand the project's purpose. Beyond knowing what needs to be built, you need to understand why it's being built in the first place. If you're working with a product owner, a business manager, or another key stakeholder, you need to go beyond the project's tasks and grasp the bigger strategic goals behind it. What's the ultimate outcome they are aiming for? What problem is the project solving? How does success look from a business perspective? Why is this important? Because when you truly understand the project's purpose, you can anticipate stakeholders' needs, proactively solve problems, and make decisions on their behalf instead of constantly needing their input. This not only builds trust, it makes you indispensable. Your stakeholder should feel that you're not just managing tasks, you are helping them achieve their goals. Which brings us to step 3. Communicate regularly and effectively. So, communication is where most project managers fail. Regular updates are critical, but the key is to strike the right balance. Provide enough information for your stakeholder to feel informed, but not so much that they get overwhelmed with unnecessary details. A good status update should be clear, concise. Your stakeholder should understand everything in 5 minutes or less. Highlight key progress, what's been accomplished, what's coming next, address challenges, but also solutions. Never just report problems, always provide a plan for resolution. Be consistent. Even if your stakeholder doesn't demand updates, send them anyway, at least weekly or bi-weekly. Why? Because you are not in their shoes. They may have business insights or notice assumptions that need correction. Things you wouldn't spot simply because you're not looking at the project from their perspective. A good stakeholder update isn't just about keeping them informed. It's about ensuring the project stays on track with their bigger business objectives. At the end of the day, stakeholder management isn't just another skill. It's the arc that ties everything together in software project management. If you've watched my previous videos on the 3 pillars of IT project management, scope definition, planning, and execution, You already know how each of these stages play a critical role in project success. But what do all three stages have in common? Stakeholder management is the one skill that connects everything. During scope definition, you need to work with stakeholders to analyze requirements, create functional specifications, and ensure that what's being built actually aligns with their expectations. During planning, you need to align on timelines, set realistic expectations, and communicate any scope changes or adjustments. If changes arise, stakeholders need to be in the loop to avoid surprises. During execution, you must proactively communicate major issues that might impact scope or timelines. No stakeholder wants to be blindsided when things go off track. Stakeholder management isn't just a phase, it's a constant responsibility throughout the project. Now, let's take a step back and look at why I call stakeholder management the highest paid skill in software project management. Think about it. Scope is often defined by someone else, your project sponsor, product owner, business stakeholder, or designer. You may contribute, but you don't own this entirely. Planning is mostly based on your team's estimates. Your engineers and architects break down the work, assess the effort required, and create the timelines. Execution is also handled by your team. They are the ones doing the work, writing the code, testing, and delivering the product. So, where do you fit in as a project manager? Your real job is to bring all of this together. You are not just a middleman passing information back and forth between business and engineering. You are the problem solver, the translator, and the facilitator. Your role is to help business stakeholders understand the technical side and make informed decisions. Shield your engineering team from unnecessary disruptions while ensuring they have all the context they need. Bridge the gap between both sides, keeping everyone aligned, organized, and moving forward. And between these two groups, the people executing the project and the people requesting and sponsoring it, who do you think has the greater impact on your career? It's the stakeholders. They are the decision makers. They own the budget, set priorities, and influence your career growth. That's why the highest paid project managers aren't just great at execution. They are masters of stakeholders management. When you master this skill, you become an indispensable asset, not just to your company, but to your entire industry. So, if you want to level up your career in software project management, start focusing not just on delivering projects, but on how you manage your stakeholders. This is what separates great project managers from the ones who remain stuck in the same position for years. If you found this valuable, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. What's the biggest stakeholder challenge you've faced in your project? I'll see you in the next video.